5 habits that keep you poor. Break free now. Have you ever looked at your bank account balance and thought, "Oh no, how did this happen?" Have you ever wondered where all your hard-earned money goes? Every month, it seems like you barely have enough. Or have you ever found yourself in the embarrassing situation where your credit card gets declined? Before continuing, dear viewers, if you appreciate the content of this video and are satisfied with it, we invite you to consider the option of subscribing to our channel or supporting us with a donation. Your support is essential for the growth and constant improvement of our channel, and it will allow us to continue producing high-quality content for you. You can do it here below, through the appropriate buttons, subscribe, and thanks. In this video, I will share with you 5 habits that keep you poor so that you can avoid these mistakes and achieve financial success in your life. 1. Overusing credit cards. The first habit that keeps you poor is relying too much on your credit cards. Whether you love them or hate them, credit cards are a fact of life in the financial world. They make spending effortless and give you the ability to buy things you otherwise couldn't afford. It's no surprise that Americans had over $1 trillion in credit card debt in 2019. We live in an economy that thrives on credit, and our daily lives are bombarded with advertisements and commercials that persuade us to open our wallets and spend money we don't have. It's no wonder so many people are trapped in this vicious cycle of credit. A recent study found that the average American family has about $16,000 in credit card debt. Credit cards are great to have and are very useful in emergency situations, but they also give you the illusion of having more money than you actually do, which leads to spending money you don't really have. A good tip when shopping is to always carry cash. When it comes to good spending, cash is king. First, you'll never spend more than you have on hand, and second, humans are naturally selfish creatures, even when it comes to their own money, so use this to your advantage. When you shop with cash, you tend to be much more cautious and wise with your money because you don't like giving it up or spending it. 2. Impulse buying. Yes, we've all been there. The other day, while doing my weekly grocery shopping, I found myself impulsively adding things to my cart that I didn't really need. For example, in the food and grocery section of my local supermarket, I noticed a couple of great deals on items that weren't on my shopping list, but since the deal was so convenient, I bought them anyway. Many consumers fall victim to this trick imposed by retailers. According to a study conducted by slickdeals.net on 2,000 American consumers, it was found that consumers make about $450 worth of impulse purchases per month, averaging about $5,400 per year. Most of these impulse purchases are on food and groceries, clothing, home items, and other things. Making purchase decisions, on the spur of the moment, often leads to buyer's remorse afterward. Take a look around your house, and you'll probably find many products you don't really use. For example, the exercise equipment in your garage, the gadgets in your pantry, the clothes in your closet, and many other items. These are just a few examples of things people buy impulsively and probably don't need. This raises the question: why do you impulsively buy things you don't need? The fact is that your subconscious mind often drives your purchasing behavior, and you can't help it. The moment you notice a great deal, your eyes light up immediately, and consequently, your mind starts screaming at you to take it before it's too late or the product runs out. This happens every time you notice a great deal, and subsequently, retailers and manufacturers take advantage of it to sell you more stuff. A good tip when shopping is to always carry a shopping list with you. Imagine it as a law you should never break. Additionally, cash is king. Never carry a credit card unless you absolutely have to. And finally, don't challenge nature. You'll always lose. Don't go to the supermarket when you're hungry. Leave the house with a full stomach. 3. Not making a budget. Humans are notoriously bad at this. Every year, schools, companies, governments, sports teams, and many other organizations set annual spending plans and goals. Only humans don't do it for themselves. Making a budget is a powerful and effective way to bring your finances under control, cutting costs and setting goals and limits. If you can clearly see the amount of money coming in and going out, you'll have a much better understanding of how to manage and invest your money. Making a budget gives you the opportunity to prioritize your expenses and focus your money on the things that are most important to you. Setting a budget and conducting a financial audit of yourself will clarify exactly how much money you will or won't have at the end of the month. It will also open your eyes to areas where you might be overspending. Unfortunately, this is something many people neglect to do, which often leads to overspending and getting into debt. 4. Not investing. The path to wealth and prosperity that we all grew up believing in was to live a frugal life, save as much as possible, and live off savings during retirement. Saving is a great thing to do and is super important for building wealth, but unfortunately, the path usually ends here for most people. You will never accumulate great fortunes by saving alone. You have to invest. I like to think of every dollar as a little worker who works hard for me and earns as much money as possible. This, in essence, is the concept of investing. Instead of spending your money on things that lose value and eventually end up in a landfill, like cars, electronics, or branded clothing, invest your money in things that will earn more money, like stocks, rental properties, bonds, or even a side business. Through the power of compound interest, your investments will provide a steady stream of income, and investing that income will produce even more income. These passive income streams will eventually bring in enough money for you to live without having to work 9-5. 5. Not tracking your expenses. This goes hand in hand with habit 3, making a budget. Tracking your expenses and knowing exactly where your money goes is a huge financial wake-up call that can literally change your life. Imagine knowing exactly where every single penny you earned went. Imagine knowing and being able to pinpoint exactly where your last paycheck went. Imagine having all this information at your disposal. I never tracked my expenses. To be honest, I found it difficult and rather boring. Keeping track of every single purchase you make in a day is not for the faint-hearted. But one day, while I was at the ATM making my usual withdrawal, I noticed that my account was approaching zero, and I was surprised and shocked because I couldn't understand where all my money had gone. I wondered, did my money somehow grow legs and run away? I couldn't explain where it had gone. So, out of necessity, I decided to try tracking, and I was amazed by the results. Every evening before going to bed, I wrote down how much money I had spent and what I had spent it on. After 2 weeks, I started to notice a pattern. I realized I was wasting money on the most mundane things that I could easily do without. I noticed I spent a lot of money on eating out and takeout food. I also noticed I wasted a lot on clothing and shopping, as well as online subscription services that I almost never use and many other things. And I also noticed that I wasted too much money on my girlfriend. Sorry, honey, it's true, anyway. Tracking your expenses is definitely something you should start doing. If you take nothing else from this video, take this. Track your expenses. I can't emphasize it enough. This simple habit can literally change your life. We would like to know about your experience regarding the topic covered today. Share it with us in the comments, and if you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask them. We will gladly respond. Your like would be a source of satisfaction for us, and of course, do not forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the upcoming publications.